Okay, so for this video, we are going to be talking about Virgo's 7th house. I'm continuing my 7th house series. I've already done Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Now we're on to Virgo. Before I get into it, I have my email in the description. If you have any inquiries or questions, I have my website in the description if you would like to book a reading. I also have an email list going, so if you subscribe, it's free to subscribe. You will get weekly astrological forecasts and insights, and you will also receive an exclusive discount for all my readings. So good stuff there. Okay, let's get into it. Virgo's 7th house is a bit of a doozy. There's a lot going on here. So in early romantic development, the tricky thing is Virgo's 7th house, these people can struggle with their self-esteem and sense of self-worth. And not only that, but their self-image, their self-perception. If you have Virgo 7th, you have a Pisces 1st. People with Pisces 1st house, Pisces rising, no disrespect, they don't always have the best grasp on who they are or their identity. So this can cloud their relationships in life, basically. And what can end up happening is because Virgo energy is so service oriented, they're all about helping, they're all about being of assistance, they can attract people in life who need a lot of help, which is very similar to having a Pisces 7th house, okay? There are some differences here. Virgo can grow incredibly resentful. Pisces 7th lives in a state of delusion, pretty much. They play the knight in shining armor. They play, they want to play fixer-upper, and sometimes they don't even realize that is what they're doing. They're enablers. Virgo's 7th house is the type to embark upon the pursuit of suitors who need help, and then they grow resentful. So whereas Pisces 7th it's hard for them to get to that resentful place. Pisces 7th embodies what it means to have unconditional love, okay? Virgo is not. Virgo 7th house, trust me, there's still a lot of conditions there, but they'll kind of pretend that there's not. So they can attract people in life who need a lot of help. This can include attracting people who are commitment phobic, have major intimacy issues, people with a lot of emotional baggage, people with horrible family lives, people with financial issues, people living in poverty, people who have unmanaged mental health concerns, and people who are addicts, basically. That's that is, I think, a good spectrum of what Virgo 7th housers can attract. Now, keep in mind, each one on its own isn't necessarily a problem, but it becomes a problem when the person they are pursuing is not taking any tangible steps to getting better. Like, you can't just date someone in active addiction, for example. You can date someone who is in recovery, someone who has been sober for a period of time to where they feel like secure in their sobriety and stuff, but you can't date someone in active addiction. Right? Like, you get the difference there. So that's the thing. And Virgo 7th house can put 80% into their relationships while that other person is putting 20% in. But here's where I have to put a little bit of and I mean this with all due respect, a little bit of the blame on the Virgo 7th houser. Here's the problem. When you date someone who needs a lot of help, you are basically saying, I have to prove that I'm worthy of love, so I'm gonna date somebody that I have to actively work to receive their love. And the work I can do in this relationship is making them a better person. I can help them do all the things they can't do themselves. I can play mommy. I can play maid. I can play therapist and counselor. I can play crisis manager. I can be the chauffeur. Like, they take on all these jobs in the relationship, and they do that actively. That other person a lot of the times isn't asking, and even if they are, it's like, you need boundaries. That goes without saying. But the thing is, think of energy as like, in a relationship at least, it's finite, okay? It's not infinite. There's not an endless amount of energy to be given and exchanged and taken. So think of it as a bar of energy. What Virgo 7th house is doing is giving 80%. But that means that the other person, even if they wanted to give more, they can't. The Virgo 7th houser is so firm on their role in the relationship as being the giver that even if that other person wanted to give, they can't. They can only give 20% because that is as much as Virgo's 7th house is allowing them to give. Virgo's 7th house does not know how to receive, okay? They don't. They struggle with that. That is the biggest thing. If you have Virgo's 7th house, you have to learn how to receive. This means learning how to ask for help, learning how to receive help, admitting that maybe you don't have everything in order, being okay with not being in complete control, and also validating the fact that your partner is an adult who can make their own decisions, who can decide for themselves. Like, it's so crazy to the point that sometimes if you have Virgo 7th house, your partner might offer to do something for you and you push them away. They'll be like, oh, I'm gonna take out the trash. No, I'll do it. I mean, think about how like demoralizing that can be for that partner who is trying to do for you and you won't let them. So Virgo 7th house, I'm not putting all the blame on you because you can attract partners who take advantage of that. But you need boundaries. You need to stand up for yourself, okay? You need to learn how to receive. You need to recognize the fact that it takes two to tango. And you're playing a very important role in how others are treating you. Because every day you're letting people know through your actions, through what you're willing to accept, what kind of treatment you think you deserve to receive. And unfortunately, people with Virgo 7th house can have not so good self-esteem. So they'll take crumbs and they're like, these crumbs are really satisfying me. And it's like, come on, these crumbs. You need a buffet. You need a feast, especially for all the hard work you put into life in other areas. So my biggest advice to you, I know I spent a lot of time kind of ragging on Virgo 7th house, but it's very dire. It's a dire situation. So you need boundaries, obviously, right? And you need to learn how to receive. More than I think any other 7th house, you need to learn how to receive and your life will change. You might be thinking, how do I do that? How do I learn how to receive? You let others help you. You let others do things for you. If your date is offering to pick you up, unless they're a shady character and you don't trust being in their car, in which case, why are you dating them? You say, yes, pick me up. That's great. I'm a princess. That is what I deserve. Like, if your date is offering to pay, let them pay. They're offering. Do not brush them away. Now, all of that said, it's very normal for people with Virgo 7th house to have intimacy issues and to fear opening up and to fear vulnerability, because being vulnerable means what? You're leaving yourself open to feeling judged, or even worse, to being criticized. People with prominent Virgo influence, I don't care if it's your descendant, they don't want to be criticized. And you might find yourself in relationships with people who criticize you and make you feel less than. And that's when you work harder. Do you get the correlation here? If your partner is criticizing you, you try to overcompensate. You work harder. You try to do more for them. That's when the resentment kicks in. That is why it's so important that you gravitate towards people who have their shit together, okay? Avoid the fixer-uppers. Let the professionals deal with those people. Let the sponsors, the therapists, the clinical psychologists, the doctors, let the financial advisors, let all of those people deal with the people that need help. You are not a charitable organization, you're a person. You need to find someone who has their shit together, plain and simple. It will ease so much stress and neuroticism in your life. Like, it will feel so good, but you have to allow yourself to receive it. You have to every day affirm that that is what you deserve. You're not an anomaly. You're not on the outs. Love and romance is not an exclusive club that you're not invited into. Love is everyday, normal human behavior. And you are a normal human. So that means you are available to receive and give love. You just have to learn how to receive it. And you have to learn how to give it in a non-conditional, weird psychological way. A favorable expression, once you absorb all that, digest it, once you kind of start to implement these mantras into your life, then you can attract the really favorable side of Virgo 7th house, which is having a completely devoted, committed partner. A partner who seeks to serve you, engages in acts of service for you every single day, because acts of service is a huge Virgo 7th house love language. So then you attract a partner who is hardworking, a partner who is considerate, a partner who is thinking of you all the time, a partner who is just wanting to serve you and please you. And not just that, but a partner who is actively working to de-stress you, to make sure you are staying relaxed. A partner who, this is the partner who calls you on their way to the grocery store. And it's like, hey babe, do you need anything? Like, what do you need? You want me to pick up XYZ? You want me to pick up your favorite pie from the bakery? Like, whatever. Like, the partner who brings you flowers randomly. But these aren't empty gestures. Like, this is a partner who genuinely is thinking of you and taking steps to let you know they're thinking of you. This is also the partner who, the type of person you can attract, who is mirroring your sense of servitude. So you can have a partner who has a similar love language as you, and it's just acts of service back and forth. There's a sense of reciprocation. No longer is it 80-20, but it's 50-50. And hey, sometimes it's 40-60. Sometimes it's 70-30. But at that point, you've earned it. You have enough respect for one another to be more available if that other person is going through a crisis. Crises happen in life. You can't avoid them. Like if a partner's parent passes, you can't expect that partner to be giving 50 for probably several weeks and months, depending on the situation. So it's like you would have a partner who's able to step up to the plate, which is exactly what you're able to do too. Now, because Virgo is very health oriented, this could note having a partner who works in healthcare, who works in medicine. This could note marrying a doctor. This could note marrying someone who has a pretty active and busy work life. But like, whatever. This could note having a partner who likes to provide, again, acts of service, making sure you're taken care of and you're okay. Your partner might even have a prominent Virgo placement, and that can go for all of the 7th house, depending on the ruler of your 7th house. Because of synastry overlay, you could have a partner who has a prominent placement of the sign ruling over your 7th. So for Virgo 7th, you could have a Virgo Venus partner, a Virgo Sun partner, even like a partner with Virgo rising, whatever. So your partner can have some strong Virgo energy, which also means your partner might be kind of neurotic. Your partner might also be a bit of a perfectionist. They might work in a field that requires a lot of precision, and even a field that to some extent there's like a process of sterilization, like there's a cleanliness that has to happen. Now, something else about your partner, if you have Virgo 7th house, your partner might also be really strict about their routine in life. So if you have Virgo 7th house, this is another reason why acts of service is important. You want to maintain an environment that feels like consistent, kind of predictable. Things are in order and everyone's playing a part. So Virgo 7th house, despite the craziness in early romantic development, does work very well for marriage because there's a mutual sense of commitment. Virgo 7th house individuals, they're there, okay? They're like, they embody what a marital vow is, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health. Like Virgo, people with Virgo 7th can really, really embody what it means to be there for your partner. Not just through all the good, grand, happy, passionate times, but for the real, like they can show up for their partner in a crisis. And you can absolutely receive that in return. Your partner can mirror that. Now, if you have Virgo 7th house, you have an increased chance of meeting your partner at work or in some type of professional setting. You might even meet your partner within like your local environment. So let's say your partner like recently moves to your area, you can meet them there, or maybe you can meet them quickly after they move, or vice versa, like maybe you move to a new area and they're like one of the first people you meet. You can kind of meet them like in your familiar surroundings, basically. So you can meet them, they could even be your neighbor. I'm not kidding, like you could end up marrying your neighbor. So there's just kind of an automatic closeness between you and your partner. Even upon meeting, it might feel like you've known each other forever. There's probably going to be an instant sense of comfort and familiarity, which is always a benefit. So that's kind of everything I can immediately think of. Now, keep in mind, depending on what's in the 7th house, placement, celestial bodies, depending on what sign, or not sign, depending on what your descendant is in aspect to, and even like depending where your Venus is in your chart, like there's a lot of factors that can change some of this information, but that's kind of the general gist. And even though I did kind of rag on Virgo 7th house a little bit, I'm very passionate about this house, specifically like Virgo 7th, because there's so much potential to have a really healthy and exciting marital life, and I want you to access that. So I'm very passionate about like doing the necessary internal work to make sure you have access to that, okay? Because sometimes if Virgo 7th house person gets too bruised and wounded, they're just gonna close out altogether. Give me my bill, I'm done, I'm opting out of love. And then they become the non-committal fixer-upper that other people are trying to save, okay? So that's kind of the thing. You have the savior, Virgo 7th house, who wants to save everybody, and then you have the kind of like the mark, the victim, who everyone is trying to help. You don't really want to be either. You want to find a good middle ground where you're receiving and you're giving. But if you're bruised too much and you aren't able to kind of confront some of your own baggage that you need to work through in order to have a healthy relationship, then you can become the eternal bachelorette. The earth signs, similar to Taurus 7, the earth signs are a lot more, they're not as traditional as people kind of make them out to be. They can become jaded to the point where they embrace like their Charlie Sheen energy and they just have a million lovers and, you know, they're crazy. So that's worth noting. Okay, I hope this made sense. I hope you know I said it all with compassion and love, and I want the best for you. Leave me a comment if this resonated. If you have it, or you know someone, or you're married to someone, I hope this was helpful. Give good psychological insight. And as always, my email is in the description if you have any questions. I have my website if you want to book a reading, and then I have my email list. Feel free to sign up.